Okay, so normally I'm the one interviewing the guest.
Yes.
I was interviewed for my friend Todd Porter's podcast, my old college roommate. I almost feel like you guys are probably going to want to ask more questions but Todd out on the West Coast, good morning, man. What's going on?
Drew Deener, what's happening, buddy?
Well, we're up doing what we do in the morning. When you called me and told me, I got this podcast. Tell me about it.
Well, okay, so you know me. I get bored easy, and
Yes.
during the COVID times, getting bored is easier than normal, and so a lot of the extracurricular activity things that I would normally do are out the window at the moment. So I was talking to a buddy of mine, George Fitz, who's out here in California. He's from Hazard, and I said, let's start a podcast. He said, okay. And so, it turns out it's not a very hard thing to get up and get going. And so we did, and you were our inaugural guest. And the idea is you got a kid from Paintsville and a kid from Hazard who are just talking to people from back home. And let me say also, make no mistake, I am not under any illusions that I know that I would not be on the Deener Show today if you weren't my friend. So
Oh, yeah, no. There's only two reasons to have a radio show. Help your friend, hurt your
on
enemy.
here. Yes, there's no place for me on here if we weren't very close friends. So just know that I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to pump our second-rate product on your show.
Well, Todd, what was Drew like as a college roommate? I think a lot of people want to know.
See, this is what I was afraid of.
What was Drew Deener like to live with as an 18 to 22-year-old college kid?
Well, we were roommates on multiple occasions, I guess, throughout that time. Once at Trancy in the dorms, and you can get a lot of this. We talked about a lot of this on the podcast, so I'm not going to give you too much.
Okay, give me a taste.
Give you a little bit. There was a lot of gamer rage.
Yes, a lot of gamer.
I can't imagine.
A lot of gamer rage, which I found it quite satisfying that Drew has pretty much given up on the gaming because it was not a healthy thing.
Oh, he's back in
at all.
No, I have not yet. No, I'm not back in. You're right.
So
that's a healthy
controllers
decision.
were thrown, TVs were broken.
Controllers were destroyed, tables were flipped over, things like that. I remember distinctly we would go, Deener's on the tennis team, and we would go watch Deener play tennis, and his self-talk on the court was something to behold as well. I've never heard a person put themselves down more while playing than Drew Deener.
This is also true. Yeah.
He would savage himself out loud on the tennis court, and we just laughed. I don't think he found it even more comforting that we were laughing at him, but
it was being egged on.
Yeah,
because the tennis courts were right in the middle of the dorms, so everybody would see it, and it was always I'm very easy to rile up, as everyone knows.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So there'd be a lot of
that.
things yelled over at me.
Andy has a myriad of questions. Can I start asking these?
Yes.
He has
go ahead.
like 4 questions. Okay. So question number 1, how bloated did Deener get during college? I don't know what that means.
No, I don't recall that at all. He was playing tennis the whole time. He stayed in good shape.
I didn't get fat.
I don't recall any bloating.
You didn't get fat till after college.
All right, question number.
He drank a lot of beer, but I don't.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got how is he with the women?
Oh God, do we really want to
Pass.
Yeah, pass. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of attempts.
Save
I guess.
it for the podcast.
He was a high volume shooter.
Okay. All right, question 3. How many rackets did you see him break personally?
Multiple.
Ballpark it. Dozen?
I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that many. No, I mean 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah. That's a good year. Yeah, that's a good year.
Do you mean in a year or do you mean in his career? I'm unsure.
Overall.
I can't account for after college how many broke after that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah.
All right, and then finally, were there any panty raids during college?
What is up with Andy and panties?
No. Well, that's an inside joke. We had
Yeah.
Billy Reed and Lloyd Gardner told the story about panty raids. There was a night, though, where I don't know why this was funny, but as the joke started going around of you'd call someone's room, ask them which size shoe they wear.
The shoe size.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that was
that was
funny.
a great one. That was a great one. We had about a dozen guys in a room, and was it Billy Spears' joke? I think.
Yes, it was.
And Billy Spears, God love him, we would call girls that we knew in the dorm. They would answer. He would talk for a half a second, ask them what their shoe size was. Sometimes they'd say, "Why do you want to know?" He's just like, "I need to know what's your shoe size." And no matter what the size was, they could say 8, they could say 4. You know, that's a little foot, but whatever. And the moment they would say it, he'd throw his finger up, and the entire room would start dying laughing for about 10 seconds, and then he'd just hang up.
Hang up, yeah. And this went on all night. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that to about 30 girls, and the next day on campus, it was an absolute conspiracy. It was fantastic. It was a great joke. And we never gave it up. We never said why we did it. We said we can't tell, and that made it even worse. And so that went on for a good 2 weeks, I believe.
Now, let's get the key thing. The name of the podcast, where you get it. Let's get particulars here.
Chill Billy's Podcast. You can get it on Apple, Amazon, Google, and Spotify. ChillBillysPodcast.com. You can go there and get the podcast.
Yeah, nothing like a couple of boys in California that are from Paintsville and Hazard. It's your typical podcast, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and Rogan's a podcast I listen to. I have the luxury of not really caring if anybody listens. So I'm not really trying to do anything other than have interesting conversations with people, which was quite difficult with you because what are we going to talk about that we haven't talked about? But take, for example, we had the mayor of Hazard, who's also the principal of Hazard High School, Happy Mobilini, on there. And it was a great conversation about a lot of the things going on in Eastern Kentucky and a lot of the challenges that people face, both from an educational standpoint and from an economic standpoint. You know, we had Jay Crawford on, who was a YMT alum like yourself, and Crawford, you just wind him up and let him go. I mean, so we had to cut that into 2 episodes because he just rambled on and on, and all great stuff. You know, he told his entire story and how he keeps in touch. He went through a myriad list of Eastern Kentucky athletes that he remembers and still keeps in touch with to this day.
Wow. That's like the most. He's like the most likable guy. Everybody that's ever met Jay loves him. He's the nicest
dude ever.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of great things to say about Wayne Martin, you know, one of your mentors, who was his mentor. It was a great episode. We're recording with Buzz Baker this weekend.
Oh, okay.
We've got a couple in the bag. We've got, so far what I found interesting is you find people that you don't have high expectations for. So and I don't mean that, to insult Zach Getze.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
right. Zach Getze, who's Transylvania's baseball coach, for example. I was like, so we got Jake, who you met on the podcast, who's a baseball player at Transy, and he's our producer. And he does an awesome job, editing everything, getting everything put together, and sounding good. Because without him, it would be absolute trash, I promise. But he said, you got to get my coach on. I said, okay, great. And I had these low expectations. I'm just going to throw Jake a solid. And it was a great episode. He told some awesome, hilarious stories. And I'm just going to tease the sandwich thief story. I'm not going to tell you about it, but I hope people will tune in just to listen to that story because I was crying laughing at the sandwich thief story. So, we've got master magician Lance Burton, who most people don't know he's from Kentucky, but he is from
I didn't
Kentucky.
know that. Yeah.
Yes, we've got him scheduled for later in the month. We've just got we had Cash Daniel on. I'm good friends with Cash's dad, and Cash did a solid and came. It's only one of those things. I could tell that Cash probably wouldn't have been there if it wouldn't have been for his dad basically saying go on there, but again, in our pilot episode we talk about the limits of our language, and I said we'll probably just bleep out any F-bombs that anybody says. Well, that went out the window when Cash got on the show.
Oh, I'd imagine. Look, we got about a minute left because I've been looking it up here, and it's Chill Billy's IES because I searched Chill Billy. There's some other hack that has one with that's spelled like Billy, but it's Billies.
Yes, IES. Yes.
Yes. So, all right,
anyway,
Todd.
We've got a bunch of great people, man.
All right, man. Well, I enjoyed it, and best of luck with it. And I'm sure now people at the radio station will find this.
Me and Andy already
cut up
found
audio
it.
clips. Yeah, you've already found it.
Okay.
You're getting ready to cut up audio clips, I'm certain. So, yeah.
Sorry, Mitch.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mitch. You're going to cut up audio today.
All right, Todd. Good to talk to you, man.
Thanks, buddy. Take care, guys.
All right. There you go. Todd Porter, my old college roommate. He was 6'5", I was 5'6", with the same size shoe. That's a fun fact about the two of us.
Wow.
Yeah, I would borrow his basketball shoes sometimes.
Did you ever steal his laptop?
No, I didn't steal his laptop. That's only at the ACC tournament that I do that, man. That's it.